guys, and welcome back. Today is my first video back after foundation February, so it is the first non-foundation video you guys are seeing in an entire month. I'm going to be talking about my February favorites today. I am so excited to be back and not just doing foundation videos. I love doing foundation February. I love testing out different foundations, but I am really excited to get back into the usual content. I hope you guys had a great February, and yeah, let's just go ahead and get started. So I actually really don't have that much to talk about today. I know I kind of say that in all of my favorites videos, but I think because I spent February primarily focused on foundations and trying out different foundations, I think that I kind of neglected the rest of my makeup collection. So I honestly don't have that much to talk about. And I didn't do a February makeup that I'm wearing this month, so I don't even have like a specific eyeshadow palette or a specific foundation, obviously, to talk about this month. So there's really just not a lot of products in my February favorites. But what I want to start off with is some lip products from a company called Estate Cosmetics. They are a Montreal-based company, and they did send me some of their new products to try. I'm actually wearing their highlighter on my face today. It's really pretty. I haven't worn highlighter in a while. I just haven't been liking it lately, but I really like how this is looking on my skin. I've been kind of testing out some of their different products, and I really enjoy their lip products. I have two of their glosses, or actually I think they're called lip icings, and I have their liquid lipstick. I was wearing their gloss in the shade Drip in a recent video. It was in my drugstore skin tints and tinted moisturizers, and I'm wearing this one actually on my lips today. It's such a pretty gloss, and I love the formula because it is so not sticky, and I really haven't found a drugstore lip gloss that I absolutely love. I love the Milani ones, those lip plumper ones. I actually really like those. They are still a little bit sticky, and I think I like these Estate ones a little bit more. Drip is a really pretty kind of like pinky, milky pink shade. It actually has a noticeable pink tinge to it, so when I'm wearing this one on my lips, I can just put a nude underneath and I put this one on top and it immediately turns more pinky toned. I also have their lip gloss in the shade Glazed, which is more of like a warm toned nude shade. It's kind of more of like a true, I don't know, like a brownie nude, I guess. So hard to see these swatches because they're just glosses, but the formula is just so good, so comfortable. I really enjoy wearing them, and I keep reaching for them on days when I just want to like throw something on my lips. I've been reaching for these Estate glosses, and I love them. I think they're just such a nice formula. And I'm also actually wearing their Wet Matte liquid lipstick, and this one is in the shade Treat. I'm wearing this one underneath the gloss in Drip today. It's just a perfect like neutral nude shade. It's not my favorite liquid lipstick formula, but I really like it paired under Drip. I think it makes the perfect like pinky nude shade on me. And I've really been loving these three lip products lately, so I thought I would mention them because I've never actually heard of this brand. They reached out to me and asked if I wanted to try out their product. By the way, I'm wearing my Star Wars shirt. It has 3PO, R2, and BB-8 on it. I am currently doing a Star Wars marathon, and I just finished Revenge of the Sith last night. I think I want to skip Solo, and because I didn't really like it, but I'm going to go into Rogue One, which is my favorite Star Wars movie of all time. Okay, I just took like a half an hour break because my camera died and I had to go and charge it. But jumping right back into my favorites, I've been really into trying to find my perfect scent lately. I have tried not that many perfumes actually. Mostly I stick to the Replica perfumes by, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's Maison Margiela? I'm not entirely sure, but it's that brand. I just feel so attracted to the Replica branding and like the way it looks, and also the names that they choose. They're just so attractive. They pick the coolest perfume names. Like I have one called Beach Walk from them that I love in the summer. Beach Walk is such a good one, and it always reminds me of 2018 because that's when I started wearing it. Well, 2018-19, and then I also have Lazy Sunday Morning, which always reminds me of Ireland because that was the one I brought with me and purchased for my trip to Ireland. Then I decided that I felt like I needed a new perfume to wear for 2021. I kind of didn't really wear that much perfume, I guess, in 2020, but what I ended up purchasing was the Replica by the Fireplace. This smells so good. I kind of knew I was gonna like it just because I went reading up on the scents online. I kind of like the warmer, spicier type scents. It smells so good. Like, this definitely smells, you get hints of that kind of smokiness to it. So this one says it is part of the warm and spicy fragrance family. It has warm and sweet gourmands is the scent type, and then it says its key notes are clove oil, chestnut accord, and vanilla accord. And then it says that the comfort of wood crackling in the fireplace while snow falls outside is evoked with the warm and spicy perfumes of clove oil, orange flower, vanilla, and chestnut. These notes combine to make this Maison Margiela perfume the ultimate unisex cologne. I can definitely see why this would be considered both a male and female fragrance, because it does have a little bit more of that masculine scent. I prefer perfumes that have that masculine scent. I don't know why, I don't like things that are fruity or super florally. I know that we're heading into spring, but I still wanted to pick this up because it's just such a nice scent, and I think that it's going to be like my fall winter scent in the future, or I just kind of want to wear it and have it like remind me of this phase in my life. I feel like scents are the best at reminding you of certain phases or times in your life, so I'm really happy with that one. It smells so good. And then my next favorite, because like I said, I'm trying to find like a signature perfume for myself. I like the replica ones because when you buy these little guys, they're not that expensive and they last a really, really long time, and you can buy them for specific periods of your life and not feel bad for, purchasing so many perfumes. But I wanted something that I could feel like if someone smelt it, when you meet people and they have a specific scent to them, and then whenever you smell that scent, you're reminded of them. I wanted something like that for myself, so I ended up going for the Dolce & Gabbana The Only One perfume. I remember when this came out, it was Emilia Clarke and Kit Harington were the spokespeople for it, or were like the face of this perfume, and I think that was partly why I wanted to get it. I think this is the 30 milliliter. Yeah, 30 milliliters. This says it's part of the warm and spicy fragrance family. It's warm and sweet gourmand again, and the keynotes are citrus, violet, and coffee. It says that The Only One captures the essence of sophisticated and hypnotizing femininity. The Only One's signature lies in the surprising combination of violet and coffee, giving life to an enchanting floral scent. Like the women it represents, the fragrance is an intricate play of opposites. It is from this fusion of the unexpected, a mocha violet note, that it draws its appeal. The violet opens the fragrance, combining with subtle touches of bergamot to create a lively, fresh, and juicy bouquet. At the heart, seductive notes of rich coffee are blended with charming iris. Finally, the warm base of vanilla and patchouli lends a tactile, comforting quality, enveloping the senses in an opulent embrace. I'm wearing this one actually on myself right now, and it smells so good on the skin. When you kind of smell it in the bottle, it doesn't really smell as good. I can definitely smell the vanilla in it. It does have a little bit of a spicy scent as well. I'm not sure if I smell the coffee. It's just, it's such a nice smell. I am so happy with this perfume, and I'm really glad it works for me. And I do feel like this might become my like everyday perfume. It's not super overpowering. It still lasts all day, but it's not like when somebody walks into the room and you can just smell them right away. It's not that overpowering. It definitely is more subtle, but it just, it smells really, really good. I just can't stop smelling this guy. And again, if you're into these warmer kind of scents, they're really similar actually, but this one is just maybe a bit more sweeter, and this one is has more of that like cologne scent to it, like that masculine scent. Anyway, those are all kind of my favorites for this month. Like I mentioned, I don't have a base product to talk about. I don't have a palette of the month. I don't really have any other makeup products to talk about. So I'm going to jump into books because I actually did read quite a few books this month. Well, I read 3. It just felt like a lot. First book that I read that I kind of talked about in my January favorites, I finished Robin by Dave Itzkoff, and it is a biography on Robin Williams. This book took me a while to read. I have never actually read hey biography before. I just don't really have interest in watching or reading on people that are still alive. I don't know, I just feel weirdly uncomfortable about it. But I think once they've passed and somebody comes out with either a documentary on the individual or they write a book, I think I'm more inclined to watch it or read it. So my brother-in-law gave me this book, but it is actually a really, really good biography, and it teaches you so much about who Robin Williams was as a person as well as his career. It kind of goes into both aspects of his life and really the mental struggles that he was battling. Like when you think of Robin Williams, you think of someone who is funny and lighthearted and happy-go-lucky, and then when you learn more about him, it's like everything now that I see him in, it's like kind of tinged with sadness a little bit. Like even Mrs. Doubtfire, I think, is sad, and that's one of his like most iconic and probably one of his best characters. And the genie is tinged with sadness. I don't know if it's just because of the way he left, but I feel like everything now that I watch with Robin Williams in it is a little bit sad, and you can almost like feel his sadness coming through the screen at times. But it is a really good read, and if you are a Robin fan, or even if you're not a Robin fan, I think it's actually worth the read. I learned so much about him. By the end, it was really hard to get through like the last 3 chapters because it was just so sad. Going into everything that he was struggling with, because Dave interviews the people that Robin knew in his lifetime, like his friends and his family. It's just a very hard book to get through by the end of it, because we know the ending, obviously. But it is really good, and I did enjoy it, so I'm glad I read it. And then the next book that I read, I don't have with me because it was a library book, was The Marriage Plot by, oh my gosh, well, who was it by? Jeffrey Eugenides. I think he wrote Eugenides, I think that's how you say it. He wrote The Virgin Suicides and Middlesex as well. I kind of want to read both of those now that I've read The Marriage Plot. But The Marriage Plot was actually really good. I did enjoy it a lot. I read it really fast because I think I had a week to read it before we talked about it in my book club. But I did really enjoy it. It's actually not a hard read. Like the writing is very beautiful, but it's not difficult to get through. And the story at times is a bit slow, and then it kind of speeds up. It starts very organized and simple, and then it just gets progressively more chaotic. And I think as the characters' lives are unraveling, well, a couple of their lives are unraveling, the story kind of unravels as well. It's not really a coming-of-age novel, like I wouldn't classify it as that, but it follows the lives of 3 individuals who have just graduated from university. I think a lot of us can relate to that. At least I can for sure, because when I graduated from university, I really didn't know what I was doing, what I was supposed to be doing. I just felt so lost and so stressed and confused for that entire, I think like maybe 6 months to a year, possibly even a year following my graduation. I just felt so lost and confused. So I think in that sense, it's a really relatable book. I also liked it because it discussed mental illness. Like mental illness was a big theme of the book, maybe even the main theme of the book, and just the struggles of living with it and the struggles of living with someone who suffers from mental illness, follow their lives and how their lives intertwine. And it's not really a love story, I don't think, even though it's called The Marriage Plot. I think it's more about these individuals finding themselves. You kind of just watch them make choices and seeing how the choices they make affect their lives at a really pivotal point in their lives. Like I think once you graduate university, it's a really pivotal time. I think that it's really important to try and find out who you are as a person during those years before you just jump into either more school or a career. Like you kind of need to figure out what makes you happy and who you are as an individual. And I think that's what the book kind of does. It takes you through the lives of these 3 people and you kind of watch them find themselves. Anyways, it was really good. I enjoyed it. I would recommend it. Not a hard read at all. It's kind of long, but it's very good. So I would recommend it. And the last book that I read and finished in the month of February, I finished 3 books this month, which is good because I think January I only finished 1, and then February I finished 3, and my goal is to finish 2 books a month. So I'm caught up now. I just got to read 2 books in March and we're good. But I read Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. I've actually never read this book. I've kind of been avoiding it, I guess. And I've seen the movie, so I was familiar with the story. It's way more complicated than the movie was. Like the characters in this book are all connected in some way. It follows the life of a character called Pip. It starts from when he was a young boy in an abusive household and how he gets a benefactor, like an anonymous benefactor, and who starts paying for him to move up in society. So he goes from being a poor child to being a gentleman, like a young gentleman. And it kind of follows his life and what he experiences. It's really actually quite a complicated character. There's a lot of complicated characters in this book, and I think that's like typical of Charles Dickens. He tends to make all these complicated plot lines and everything somehow is connected at the end, but there are a lot of good characters in this book, and then there's a lot of characters that you just really dislike. At least I do. Like, I've never liked Miss Havisham and Estella. I know Estella is a very controversial character because it's not her fault, really, that she's the way she is, but she's kind of Pip's love interest in the book. She's not likable. Like, she's not a likable character, I don't think. You do kind of feel sorry for her at times, but it's just hard to like Estella. And then Pip, I actually have mixed feelings about Pip. I found him to be quite annoying for the majority of the novel. Because it's an I story, so hearing his thoughts and everything, I was just kind of always annoyed with Pip. But by the end, he kind of redeems himself, and you realize he's really a good person, and he's trying so hard to be a good person, and he makes a lot of sacrifices for the people he loves, so he really grew on me. And Pip's stepbrother, who kind of takes care of him, is one of the best characters ever. His name is Joe. He's so nice. Joe is maybe one of my favorite characters from all the Dickens that I have read so far. He's just purely good. There's nothing bad about Joe at all. I'm not the biggest fan of Dickens. I just find he over explains things and there's a lot of description, but Great Expectations was okay. My favorite book of his is still David Copperfield, and then I would say Tale of Two Cities, and then I would say Great Expectations is next. And maybe those are the only ones I've read from Charles Dickens. I have read A Christmas Carol, but that one doesn't, I feel like that's a short story, so it doesn't really count. Anyway, those are all the books that I read this month, and that sums up my monthly favorites. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to do lipstick week in March. I know it's kind of hard to do that when we are wearing masks like pretty much every day, but I've just kind of been wanting to do another lipstick week anyways. I think it's been about a year since I've last done one. Plus, I have a lot of lipsticks that are transfer proof that I'm going to be reviewing and focusing on during lipstick week, so I'm excited for that to come out. I suspect it will come out the last week of March, maybe. Thanks as always for watching. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Please subscribe if you'd like to see more videos, and I will see you in my next one.